This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be hearing new music from The Choir, the unreleased album.
And The Snake King by Rick Springfield.
Hello everybody and welcome to Music Worth Buying. My name is Robert Kinsler and I'm a music writer and a musician.
My name is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
Now, sometimes a great album can come out and nobody ever hears about it. It's lost to time, and that's the case with The Choir. This album is called Artifact, the unreleased album. And this album was recorded almost 50 years ago.
Really?
But has just now, in 2018, seen the light of day.
Wow.
It's miraculous. It was recorded. This was a band out of Cleveland. Some of the members went on to form a band that we probably both know pretty well called the Raspberries.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like, you know, nothing didn't happen. But this was a band that I guess they kicked around for most of the 1960s, did some tapes. And this was, as I recall, the last gasp right before the Choir, you know, essentially dissolved. They did do this album. And if my understanding is correct from the liner notes, it never came out. Now, the 10 tracks here were recorded back in 1969, and each bristle with energy and just kind of the passion that you associate with the 60s, you know, whether it's the Kinks, the Zombies, the Beatles, you know, the Who. It has, well, you know, you're going to hear that.
Okay.
You're going to hear that. So, you know, I'll tell you what, before we talk a little bit more, let me play you a little bit of the first song on here, and it's called Any Way I Can.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be honest. This track, okay, only the first listen. I'm not 100% sold.
Okay.
I hear some potential.
Okay.
You know, I'm open to listening to it again later to see if it doesn't grow on me.
Okay.
But right now, I'm not 100% sold. But still, though, I want to hear more about this because these kind of lost projects intrigue me.
Yeah, I really like it. I like the energy. It has kind of that early British invasion kind of exuberance, even though this was recorded in 1969. As you're going to hear from a little bit of the next track that we're going to play.
They sound British on this track.
They do, and they're from Cleveland.
Yeah.
The other songs on here are very different than this one.
Okay.
But I wanted to show this just so people could get, you know, because I think it does draw that comparison with, you know, with a British band, not, you know, like we're talking about like the Kinks or the Zombies or the early Beatles or something like that.
Would you say this is the only track that has this type of sound?
I would say that's this heavy of that sound. Yeah, there's, you know, as far as like the beautiful shimmering harmonies, you hear those harmonies throughout, but those really are to the fore here because I think of kind of the loot, it has that rollicking drum. You know, it's just kind of that exuberant, youthful rock attack, you know, that early rock attack. But
so talk to us about the packaging. What's included? So, how in depth do they get with this?
Yeah, well, so the Omnivore Recordings put this out, and they've been doing some great reissues and kind of rediscovering some of these long lost albums from artists. Just a beautiful package here. You can see the Digipack CD release comes with a beautiful booklet, and because the Choir had a number of changes in members through the 60s, there's one thing really interesting in here for those. I mean, get a load of this. I'll hold it closer, but it gives a whole, you know, breakdown of who was in the band at what time and who kind of came and went and stuff like, you know, the fall of 1964. Then it goes into the you know, when they were called the Mods, and it goes through the whole history of the band, and then it even shows further to some of the artists like the Raspberries that some of the members would join after or simultaneously. I mean, it's really amazing how they did that. Cool. And then there's some you know, just some great liner notes here a little bit on the recording. And there's even a quote here from Eric Carmen, who was obviously the lead singer of the Raspberries. He had seen the band early in their formation when he was younger. Okay. So there's even some of his really neat picture of them there. You know, it's just a really beautiful, beautiful package.
Okay.
You know, and like I said, for me, you know, I'm such a fan of '60s music.
Yeah.
That for me, it's like, you know, it's like a treasure that I never heard before.
Yeah, I can.
You know?
I can well imagine.
Yeah. So you know. No, go ahead.
Let's try to see if we can win me over with another track.
Yeah. Let's put, well, before I won't even say what kind of style it is.
Okay.
Let's listen to it. I love the title. It's called Ladybug, and let's listen to a little bit of Ladybug now and see if you know the band can win you over.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
I must keep away. Catch my breath somehow.
Okay, definitely that song appealed to me more. I definitely like the darker tone of it. And this song definitely intrigues me more to want to hear more of what this Lost Bands album is about.
Yeah, I think, and I'm glad it did have a more favorable impression on it. You know, when I listen to this, I hear it's like almost like it could be early Eric Clapton, Cream era. Eric Clapton on guitar. I hear kind of like it could be Ray Manzarek on the organ there. And, you know, and the voice could be, I don't know, Steve Winwood, maybe one of the Bee Gees. It's like an amalgam of a few other artists from around that kind of time. You know, but obviously they're their own group. You know, they're not trying to rip anybody off. I think that's obvious. You know, if you're a fan of 60s music or, I don't know, Traffic, Cream, The Doors, The Zombies, I think you're going to like this album.
Okay, cool.
You know?
All right. Well, I'll probably check it out a little more.
Okay, that's
Probably
good
check
to know.
a little more, see what I think.
Good. And I think, like I said, it's cool that the band in this album has been rediscovered and seen the light of day. And
I think it's cool when any lost album by a lost band like this gets rediscovered, or when this gets to be, you know, surfaced out of the vaults, however you want to say it. Because so much work goes into this stuff.
Yeah, it does.
So much work, and you know, so I think it's great for the people who worked on it that it finally sees the light of day. At least, so I'm glad for that.
Definitely. Now, what did you bring in today?
Okay, well, I have an album here called The Snake King, and I first became aware of this album when I heard one of the songs off of it, which we're going to be sampling on the show, called "Blues for the Disillusioned." I was listening to this song on Spotify, and I looked to see who did this song, and it said Rick Springfield. And I thought, Rick Springfield?
The Rick Springfield?
This is the same guy. This is the Jesse's Girl guy, or is this someone with the same name? And it's probably not the same guy. This is probably some young 20-something-year-old who's really angry at the world, who happens to have the same name. In fact, I kept thinking, like, you remember, you know, of course, there was Bryan Adams, there was Ryan Adams.
Right, exactly.
And I thought, you know, maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it's not Rick Springfield. But no, this is Rick Springfield. This is the guy who had hits like Jesse's Girl. And don't get me wrong, I like Jesse's Girl.
Yeah,
I liked his hits.
Hey, that's some pretty good power pop there.
Yeah, I liked his songs. I mean, I don't dislike his songs. I've just never been so into his music that I wanted to check out his albums. This song, first of all, it really surprised me, and then so did the rest of the album. And I talked about this song in one of my Songs You Need to Hear videos, where I talk about new tracks that I want to recommend. How do I describe this album? This is a really, well, first of all, in interviews, Rick Springfield has described this as his first theme record he's ever done.
Okay.
It's based on a character named the Snake King. He says sometimes the character is the devil, sometimes it's God, sometimes it's himself, and he says sometimes it's just the news. I will describe this album as sardonic, dark, oftentimes pessimistic, but it's all kept in check with a sense of humor. And I'm going to go ahead and play the song I just discussed a moment ago called Blues for the Disillusioned, and we'll check that one out.
Great. Looking forward to hearing it now.
Here we go.
Blues for the disillusion. I know how you all grieve. I was there at the beginning with Adam and with Eve, and God's manipulation was partisan at best. Although it was the worst result, you think that you're all blessed. You've been living under false decrees. I guess you get that now. There's really no such thing.
Wow. I can't believe that's Rick Springfield. I mean, that is, I mean, not only is the music, you know, a little different than I think I would expect, you know, not being very familiar with everything he's done, but yeah, especially the lyrical content. I mean, it's pretty cynical, pretty deep. Yeah, there a lot's being said. I almost can't process it after a single listen. I did listen to the song off camera here, but yeah, I want to hear it again. Want to hear what's going on here.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
You want to hear it again.
But no, it's definitely an artist that's not standing still. You know,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, I kept thinking, no, this is some young 20-something-year-old who's been raised on Dylan.
Yeah.
Not some guy. I don't know how old Rick Springfield is. I'm assuming he's.
I think he's late 60s. He's late 60s.
Yeah,
now.
not some guy in his 60s. I mean, usually when we listen to artists who are at that point in their careers, who are still making new music, they're being more reflective, looking back on life. You know, they're accepting their mortality. He's all fired up with so much piss and vinegar.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You know, but I'll be honest. For me, it's good to hear a person exercising their demons in this way, in this kind of music. And this song is not untypical of the rest of the album.
Wow.
He is really unloading in this album.
Wow.
There are songs on this album, like there's one entitled, God Doesn't Care About You.
Wow.
Another one called Jesus is an Atheist.
Wow.
It's clear he has some God issues.
Yeah, it sounds like,
and there have been some, I've read some reviews from, like the Amazon user reviews, from fans who love the album and some who really they don't like what he's saying. And I personally feel that those who do, the problem is they're looking at these songs, what they see in the lyrics at face value, just at face value. They're not trying to dig any deeper into what the lyrics are about. I know that he wrote a book where he talks about his bouts with depression and that he's no stranger to that. And so to me, this album comes off as very therapeutic, really exercising his demons and, you know, the things that trouble him. Those things, I feel like he's really doing that in this album.
Wow.
Packaging-wise, this comes in a standard jewel case, front and back cover there. I feel that the booklet is particularly well made. It does include all the lyrics. I love the design work on this one. The whole design work done with the lyrics and the photos that are included. I think it's very nicely done. It is easy to read, too, which I always appreciate, of course. But I think there was a lot of thought put into the design of this booklet. I like the way it's been done. Very, very good. Now we're going to play another track here. This is more upbeat than the one. In fact, it's quite a bit upbeat. This song also, of course, very sardonic and dark, but also has a very good sense of humor to it. And that's where this album, it's songs like this that keep this album from completely falling into this well of despair, that there is a sense of humor every now and again throughout this album that pulls you back up again. This song is called Santa is an anagram. I'm not sure why I said Satan.
Yeah. Okay.
Not sure.
It's Santa.
Santa is an anagram, I think you copy that. There must be something twisted underneath his stupid hat. He took my name, switched the letter here or there. Why was Nicky thinking, did he think I wouldn't care? I saw it right away, I was gonna kick his candy ass. But seeing it was Christmas, I thought I'd let it pass.
You know, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. No, it's obviously catchy. You know, it has that kind of Chuck Berry musical groove. You know, just you know, that early rock and roll flavor. But the lyrics are just, you know, there is that humorful approach he's taken there. But yeah, there's a lot there.
He's got a lot more issues he's working through.
Yeah, yep.
I love the guitar playing in this song. That's just killer, the guitar solos in this song. I love the sense of humor. I mean, lyrics like, you know, Gandhi's in the corner beating up a flower child.
I know. Yeah.
You know, you have to laugh at that stuff.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I got to laugh at that stuff.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, it'd be you know, and I guess I'm going to have, after I hear the full album, I definitely want to do some research, find the press notes or something. I didn't receive this or didn't even get word about this album, actually.
It surprised the hell out of me when I managed to just stumble across the one song while going through a playlist of new releases and just stumbled across this, like, you know, like I said, who's this? What surprises me about Santa is an Anagram, I'm surprised he didn't release this in December, just the track. This album didn't get released till late January.
Okay.
It's only just come out, it's only been out for less than a month as we're recording this. I'm surprised he didn't release that Santa song during the holiday season prior. I think it would have, with the right video, it really would have taken off.
You know,
next year, Rick, if you're listening, you know, video, put it out, like after Thanksgiving, holiday song.
It lends itself to
royalties. Definitely. A little tip for you there. But anyways, though, this really album has just surprised the heck out of me. And I think if you think you know who Rick Springfield is, like me, you know, you don't know. Listen to this album. And just also a good rock album, good rock blues album, strong attention to craft. And that's the other thing. In spite of everything we're saying about the lyrics and just, you know, how surprising the content is, there's still this strong commitment to craft. And there's a reason why he had all those big hits in the 80s. It's all about the craft of songwriting. And that's very present in all of this.
Yeah, always a strong songwriter. And that plays through here. You do hear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, thanks for bringing that in. I definitely want to check that out.
Okay. And thanks for bringing in the choir as well. And have you heard these albums? What did you think? We'd like to know. Be sure to share your comments. And as always, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe, be sure to click notifications so you can know when new videos are made. And so we'll see each other next time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
With 2 new albums. My name's TJR.
And my name's Robert Kinsler.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.